got drunk at Chuck E. Cheese on several of their plans to leave. Drunk at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was asked to leave. I just wanted to know how their wine would taste, but I ended up so very base. I guess you could say that I got trash, but you also could say that I got smashed. Chuck E. Cheese is a talking mouse. That kinda makes sense when you are souse. All I wanted was to cut loose, and I went too far and got totally juiced. I got drunk at Chuck E. Cheese. Several of their plans to leave. I know you from like 94, I think.
Oh, wow.
I found actually at this very radio station, they were getting rid of a copy of Low Fidelity High Anxiety
Ooh,
because it did not get played enough or something. And I bought it from their record sale.
wow.
And I knew nothing about this guy for like 15 years. And then one day I decided to just sort of Google, I wonder what that weird guy in, Pennsylvania is up to. And he had started to already, develop an internet presence.
Yes.
And he had kept making tapes and kept making CDs. So for those of you who, I don't figure a lot of people here in Minneapolis know who you are. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I mean, I started recording myself talking into a tape recorder when I was probably around 8 or 9 years old. And I still have all those tapes, and that's
Right.
some untapped content we still have for people at some point here. So, I mean, that was the beginning of it all. And I started recording albums that I didn't actually release, but just for fun, probably around 1984. And that's the same year that my family got a video camera, and that's when I started blogging.
Right.
So I've been doing most of this stuff since the mid-'80s.
Wow. And you have all this stuff. That's one of the incredible things, that you seem to have an unending backlog. And in fact, behind you right now, it looks like a stack of VHS tapes.
These are high 8 tapes. They're the small camera tapes. And that's what I usually record on when I'm out running around or something. When I go to parties or something like that, I record on these instead of VHS, which is what I still use for my YouTube videos.
Right. Oh, wow. That's why they have that quality.
Yes. It's all recorded on VHS tape.
It's important. The kids do like their authenticity.
Yes.
So, yeah, you are authentic. You are the original vlogger.
Yeah.
And so what else do you do with your time out there? I know I'm trying to lead these questions because I already feel like I know so much about you. You put so much of your life out there.
Yeah.
When did you decide that you are, sort of a Warhol superstar kind of public figure?
I mean, I waited for everything to catch up with me, really. I mean, I felt back in the 80s when I started doing all this stuff and started keeping very detailed journals of what I was doing in my life and a record of and saving everything that had anything to do with my music career. I mean, I started doing that at the beginning, even before the beginning. And so I knew somehow already, that it was all going to be important. And I just had to wait until the internet came along for this to all be what people wanted as entertainment.
Right.
There was reality TV before that, which I can't stand, but that was still something that was only available to people who are already famous or people they decided they were going to make famous. As soon as the internet came along, you just make yourself famous, if you have what it takes. And I've been saving up what it took for a long time. I already had it, and I'm still there's so much I still haven't even shown anybody. You continue to mine it. I'm impressed every single day. If you follow Weird Paul, on the various social platforms, he will tell you what happened on this day. 35 years ago, he recorded a video with his sister for, addicted to spuds or something like that. And then there's the video. Or you'll find out, I bought Cheetos. They were not very good. Right.
I'm glad the world has caught up to you. And how many people do you think are viewing you around the world now? I suppose do you keep very detailed stats about who's looking?
I know what my following is on every platform that I have. So it's somewhere about 175,000 people, I would say.
That's amazing.
If you put all my followers together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if you've used that to start touring a little bit around the country, I don't feel like I've seen you, leave the state there that much, except for the last couple of years. And is that entirely based on being able to have that data and know where the people are now?
Basically, I love going on tour and I love meeting people and performing for people, and I'd like to do a lot more of that. My problem is I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I'm not good at any of the business side.
Right.
Stuff. I'm only good at the creative stuff, and so I do what I can. And I did get out. I did some shows last year. I did a lot of shows outside of my area. I went to St. Louis. Didn't get all the way to Minnesota, but that's my goal, is to get further out as soon as possible. And I was hoping that was going to happen this year, but not looking so good.
We're only a couple months into the year. Part of my wanting to talk to you is that I do want to get you on people's wavelength around here.
That's great,
because there's there is a vast catalog and a vast world of Weird Paul to dive into. So for a Weird Paul neophyte, where do you think, if I were to introduce somebody to you based on a video or a record or something, what do you think is the first thing that would draw them in?
Okay, well, usually people respond well to the Peanut Butter Recall song on YouTube.
Yeah.
Views, so that's one of my most viewed videos, which I still think to me that's disappointing. I've been on YouTube for over 8 years now, and I still haven't gotten a video with more than 100,000 views. It seems like a lot to some people, but viral videos have millions of views. That's still very small for me. Or I made a video of me reviewing my McDonald's breakfast that I was eating in 1984, long before people were doing food reviews on YouTube. And that is also something that a lot of people, that's the gateway into my world for a lot of people, is that video.
So you go to thrift stores a lot. Do you keep all of this stuff? Are you?
Yeah. Everything I show in the videos, I still have. I don't buy stuff that I wouldn't want.
Right.
But a lot of it for me, all the thrift stores are closed right now here.
Yeah.
So I can't buy anything anyway, and I think it's great that I have all that stuff now. It's, if I could find stuff as cheap as I do, and people say, you bought that video game? That's a terrible game. Yeah, but I paid a dime for it. Okay, and I don't feel like I'm ever in my life going to find that game again for a dime.
Right,
so
absolutely.
I'm gonna buy it, and now I have it, and I love the fact that someday when maybe I'm retired or something like that, I'll have anything that I want to do that day, I can choose from, I have an unending amount of choices of what I want to do.
I suppose,
So,
yeah, that not being able to leave the house right now is not so bad because you've already created a little, museum world for yourself. That
it's true. And I haven't even really had time to delve into that very much because I just have so much backlog of work right now that I'm getting caught up on finally.
Oh, right.
All the boxes of stuff that my fans continuously send me to my PO box. I show it all on YouTube, and I'm still making videos of stuff I got last year in 2019. In boxes, they're still piled up, but I'm getting closer. I think I only have about 12 more videos to make now on that, so it's getting better. But the thrift haul videos are definitely something that a lot of people they come into through that. They see that, and then they start listening to my music and stuff. That's another thing that people watch a lot of.
You only get one, but that's all you need for fun. One, that's all you need for fun. Beach ball, it's a one pack. Beach ball, it's a one pack. You're gonna have fun, and all you need is one. Fun, and all you need is one. Beach ball, it's a one pack. Beach ball, it's a one pack. And it's full of fun. Beach ball, it's a one pack. Beach ball, it's a one pack. You gotta blow it up yourself. You ain't gonna get no help. Blow it up yourself. Ain't gonna get no help. Beach ball, it's a one pack. Beach ball, it's a one pack. And it's full of fun. Beach ball, it's a one pack. Beach ball, it's a one pack. Beach ball, it's a one pack. Beach ball, it's a one pack.
you had posted the lyrics to, I guess, the first song you ever wrote.
Yes.
Who was that about?
That was about my history teacher, Mr. Labetta, in 8th grade.
Mm.
And he was one of my least favorite teachers. I started off like Weird Al. I would just take a song that already existed and sing. I actually sang right over top of the other song and then recorded that. And so I did that one about him. That was a parody of a Cars song. I eventually, when I started actually releasing albums, I started calling myself Off the Wall Paul. Because I didn't want to use the same name as Weird Al,
Right.
But the problem was it was already too late. There were concert promoters around the city were putting up flyers that said Weird Paul, and radio stations were saying that was a new song by Weird Paul, even though on the tape it said Off the Wall Paul. It was too late. I was already known as Weird Paul, and that's the name stuck, and I'm still Weird Paul to this day.
How did that get out there if that's not what you were? Or did you label yourself that and then you had like a change of heart, basically? Or?
Well, I'd been using that name throughout high school.
Oh, I see.
People were calling me that already, and by the time I was about to graduate is when I released my first album. It said Off the Wall Paul on it, but it was just too late. Everybody was already calling me Weird Paul.
Right.
You have to be careful. The name you choose is the first thing you choose. Is you're stuck with that.
That's true. I mean, that happened to the Goo Goo Dolls, right?
Yeah. See.
Those guys are forever. No matter what they do, they could cure cancer, but it would still be like, Johnny from the Goo Goo Dolls cured cancer.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah. You give and take. Yeah. So, yeah. What are you doing to? What are you doing to? I'm trying to think what comes next. You told me that you're finally getting through all the boxes, but have you written a new song lately? How do songs come to you? Do you just doing the dishes and?
A lot of times I wake up in the morning, I'll have a song in my head, or I'll wake up, from sleeping, and I'll have the chorus in my head. It's in a dream that I'm having.
Right.
And
you
then
dream your songs. Beautiful.
Yeah. And then I'll record that. I just record that, and then I'll come back later and write the whole thing. Usually I walk around the house singing. I talk about what I'm doing all day. I'm picking up a piece of paper on the floor. I'm picking up a piece of paper from the floor. I just sing everything I'm doing to myself, and to little made up melodies that I just create on the spot. And those usually become the choruses to the songs that I write.
See, that's an amazing thing. I feel like that kind of thing is maybe around everybody in the air, but not everybody can pluck it.
It's true. And a lot of times I'm as guilty as anybody. I come up with stuff and I don't record it, and then it's just lost,
Right.
You have to write it down or record it right away, or you'll forget it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just put out a new album last year, my 32nd album that I've put out since 1987. And so I'm this year I'm taking a break mostly on the music. My plan was to just get caught up on the YouTube videos and tour, which we'll see how that goes. But next year is going to be the next album. So I'm going to start working on that soon, writing the songs.
Excellent.
My 33rd album.
With all of that material behind you and things that you've released, have you ever, this I find is a thing that happens with prolific songwriters. Have you ever released an album and then realized afterwards, oh no, that was another song? Like you'd plucked a melody from somewhere and then eventually realized, oh, I remembered this from here.
It's probably happened. Mm-hmm. I very consciously try very hard. If anything I'm writing sounds like anything else that I can exactly identify, I don't use it. I think I write something else, because I don't like to copy anything exactly or repeat myself either.
Right.
So I try to make everything different. I do sometimes play something that sounds like something else on purpose. That is not an exact copy. It just sounds like it.
Right.
Because I want it to remind people of something.
You want to get that Bon Jovi sound, but you don't want it to be Bon Jovi.
That's correct. That's exactly. And I call that Xerox rock. That's just the name I've given it. And that's my whole thing. Xerox rock. That's what I call my genre.
You've cornered the market there. I don't know many other people like you. What are the kind of artists that reach out to you? Like, do people reach out and want to, collaborate or write songs together now that you've got a worldwide following?
Sometimes I don't hear from anybody who's really known or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm busy, and I don't really write. I don't really collaborate write songs in a collaboration kind of way usually. It's just something that happens, and I'm so busy doing so many other things. It's not something I sit down and do usually.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of times bands will come to Pittsburgh and ask to play with me, like the Dead Milkmen.
Mm-hmm.
When they came here a few years ago, they asked for me specifically. And, so I do know that there are bands out there. Spoon was another one. When Spoon played here
a while
back, they asked for me specifically. So I know that I have fans out there in certain bands, and that's really cool to know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't think of anybody that I've specifically has wanted to work with me. Maybe that'll change.
You might need to get a little older for that and become, a legacy artist. And that's when they start doing, the all-star tributes to you, where you've got.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's the thing. I've had to wait this long. Sometimes, things happen differently in different people's careers and lives. But
right.
I've had to wait until I'm almost 50 for this to happen.
Bob Pollard didn't, get any sort of acclaim till he was like 40 or something. So
exactly. Yeah.
Spent a full, other life as a school teacher.
Right.
Yeah. So with as busy as you are, how do you relax? How do you find time to not do anything? Because it does seem like you are always doing something. Is that just is your brain just wired that way to sort of always,
Yeah, pretty much.
always be on the run?
I don't relax much. So, I mean, if I'm watching a movie, I'm doing the dishes at the same time or something. I don't just sit down and passively watch television or listen to music or anything like that. The only time that you could say I relax is when I read. And I don't, because I don't do anything else while I'm reading. And usually I do that right before bed, just so that I can get my brain to calm down so that I can sleep.
Yeah, that's an essential thing.
I need 8 or 9 hours at night after working nonstop for 12 hours or more. Then I need to get a lot of sleep to have enough energy to do it again the next day. That's how it is for me. It works different for everybody, I suppose.
That's when they look at how, the great artists have worked and the different sleep schedules. Da Vinci slept for 3 hours, then worked for 2, and then slept for 3 or something.
It's amazing.
This is the Weird Paul way. Yeah. Get plenty of sleep. Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Read a book. Get plenty of sleep.
That's right.
Just remember, kids, take your vitamins, say no to drugs, love your mother.
All the above.
Your mother gave you that haircut, right?
She did. I mean, I went to her and asked for this haircut. It was 1988, and I had been listening to the Ramones for a couple years. And I just had a really stupid kind of haircut before that I didn't really like. And I looked at a picture of Johnny Ramone, and I said, that's how I want my hair to look. I had to have a lot of courage to do that because I was bullied a lot in school and I was ostracized and people didn't like me. And I didn't want to stand out in school. I was always trying to just fit in. And even though I couldn't fit in, I was just trying to blend in so that nobody would bother me. And so to do that, that caused me to get a lot of attention, cutting my hair like this. So I was brave to do that. But that's been my haircut ever since.
Yeah. Have you ever considered anything else?
I never have.
No? What would it take? If you were to get some sort of a sponsorship, who could reach out to you and get you to cut your hair?
I don't know. Money talks. I can tell you that.
Well, I'm putting it out there to the world. If you want to restyle the famous Weird Paul, the offer's on the table.
I did want to mention too that the recent documentary about me that came out last year, it is, as of a couple days ago, it is now free to watch on Amazon Prime.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And it's called "Will Work for Views." It is free now to watch if you do have Amazon Prime. Do you know Mark Mallman?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I know. I'm good. I've played with Mark Mallman a couple times, and we're mutual admirers of each other's music. He and I did a thing where he was driving across the country.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, I did that with him. When he came to Pittsburgh. I did the little collab with him in his van when he was here.
I must have been asleep. I must have missed that entirely. My God, I was following a lot of that. Yeah.
I remember that night well when I got in his van and did that with him because I had tickets to see Guided by Voices. And I got in the van and did that thing with them, and then I got in my car and rushed over there. And I missed like the first 3 Guided by Voices songs. I ran into the concert. So.
Well, at least you had like 42 more to go. So
that's true. I did.
Those guys put on a show.
Oh, you're telling me.
And yeah, that's funny because I was going to try to connect you with Malman when you're here, but I'm glad that you guys have already.
I love that.
You've already found each other in the world.
Yeah.
It's a weird world out there, and
it is.
And I'm glad to bring Weird Paul to the people here. Thank you for sitting down with me today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pot of macaroni. Pot of macaroni. Pot of macaroni. Pot of macaroni. Pot of macaroni, pot of macaroni, pot of macaroni, it's in a pot of boiling hot. It's in a pot of boiling hot. It's in a pot of boiling hot. It's in a pot of boiling hot.
boiling